students, hi everyone. So now we will study the living world, the first chapter of your biology. So the living world, the name itself says that the living organisms, the study of the living world, living creature, that we will study, and how they are classified, that we will study in today's class. So how can you define life? How can you define that there is life in something? So life, it is a unique complex organization of molecules which expressing through chemical reactions which lead to growth, development, responsiveness, adaptation and reproduction. So how can you define life? Life ಐತಿ ಅಂತ ನೀವು ಹೆಂಗೆ ಹೇಳ್ತೀರಿ? So life, it is very complex organization. So one by one you study ಮಾಡ್ಕೋತ ಹೋದಾಗ, so you will study different organisms, right? So we are multicellular organisms. So human beings are the most developed organisms on the earth, right? So but ನಾವಷ್ಟೇ ನಮ್ಗಷ್ಟೇ ಲೈಫ್ ಐತಿ ಅಂತ ನಾವು ಹೇಳಕ್ಕೆ ಬರಂಗಿಲ್ಲ. ದೇರ್ ಆರ್ ಯೂನಿಸೆಲ್ಯುಲರ್, ಸಿಂಗಲ್ ಸೆಲ್ ಇರುವಂಥ ಆರ್ಗ್ಯಾನಿಸಮ್ಸು ಅದಾವೆ, ಅವಕ್ಕೂ ಲೈಫ್ ಐತಿ. ದೇರ್ ಆರ್ ಮಲ್ಟಿಸೆಲ್ಯುಲರ್ ಆರ್ಗ್ಯಾನಿಸಮ್ಸ್, ದೇರ್ ಆರ್ ಪ್ರೊಕ್ಯಾರಿಯೋಟಿಕ್ ಆರ್ಗ್ಯಾನಿಸಮ್ಸ್, ದೇರ್ ಆರ್ ಯೂಕ್ಯಾರಿಯೋಟಿಕ್ ಆರ್ಗ್ಯಾನಿಸಮ್ಸ್. ಸೊ ಎಲ್ಲ ಆರ್ಗ್ಯಾನಿಸಮ್ಸ್ಗೂ ದೇ ವಿಲ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ದ ಲೈಫ್. ಸೊ ಲೈಫನ್ನು ನೀವು just define ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಆಗಂಗಿಲ್ಲ. So it is not just a simple thing to define. So it is a very complex organization of the molecules which express through the chemical reaction, and that chemical reaction lead to growth, okay, development also, responsiveness, adaptation and reproduction. So the life meaning it is growth also, development also, responsiveness, adaptation, ಎನ್ವಿರಾನ್ಮೆಂಟಿಗೆ ಸರೌಂಡಿಂಗ್ ಎನ್ವಿರಾನ್ಮೆಂಟಿಗೆ ಅಡಾಪ್ಟ್ ಆಗೋದು, ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ದೆನ್ reproduction. So all includes life. A living organism is self-replicating, evolving and self-regulating interactive system capable of responding to external stimuli. So living organism is self-replicating. That means it has to replicate itself. That means it has to reproduce. Evolving, and it has to evolve, right? Evolve ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ evolution, evolve ಆಗ್ತೈತಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ಲಿವಿಂಗ್ ಆರ್ಗ್ಯಾನಿಸಮ್ಸ್. the way we say ಮಂಗನಿಂದ ಮಾನವ, that means that is because of the evolution. So evolving and self-regulating interactive system of capable of responding to the external stimuli, so that the living organisms are always interactive to the external environment, right? So life is a unique complex, and the how you will define life, it defines, you can define it through growth, reproduction, development, responsiveness, adoption. So what are the properties of living organisms then? As we have studied, growth, reproduction, metabolism, cellular organization and consciousness. These 5 you should remember. And all these 5, ಎಲ್ಲ ಈ 5 living organisms ಇರಲೇಬೇಕಂತಲ್ಲ. So one character ಏನದೋ, they are defining property of living organisms. Defining property ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅದಿದ್ರನ living organism, ಆ ಪ್ರಾಪರ್ಟಿ ಆ ಲಿವಿಂಗ್ ಆರ್ಗ್ಯಾನಿಸಮ್ ಶೋ ಮಾಡತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ that is not a living organism ಅಂತ ನಾವು ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. So there are some properties which are called defining properties of living organisms, and some properties which are not defining properties of living organisms. So that we will study one by one. So what is growth? So growth ಆಗತೈತಿ, ಹೇರ್ ಗ್ರೋತ್ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಇದು ಹಿಂಗೆಲ್ಲ ನಾವು ಆಸ್ ಇನ್ ಎವ್ರಿಡೇ ಲೈಫ್ ಒಳಗೆ ನಾವು ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೇವೆ ದಿಸ್ ವರ್ಡ್. ಸೊ ಗ್ರೋತ್ ಈಸ್ ನಥಿಂಗ್ ಬಟ್ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಇನ್ಕ್ರೀಸ್ ಇನ್ ನಂಬರ್, okay, and mass of the cell by cell division. So one single cell ಅಂತ ತಗೊಂಡ್ರೆ ಗ್ರೋತ್ ಹೆಂಗಾಗ್ತೈತಿ, ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಇನ್ಕ್ರೀಸ್ ಇನ್ ದಿ ನಂಬರ್. 1 ಹೋಗಿ 2 ನಂಬರ್ ಆಗ್ತಾವೆ, 2 ಹೋಗಿ 4, ಲೈಕ್ ದ್ಯಾಟ್. ಸೊ ದ ಇನ್ಕ್ರೀಸ್ ಇನ್ ನಂಬರ್ and mass of the cell, okay, is called by the cell division. So it is by the cell division the growth is happening. Each and every day the body ಒಳಗೆ cell division ಆಗತೈತಿ, right? So cell division, that means a cell is replicating, that is, it is dividing. Cell division, and it is increasing in the number due to the cell division and even increasing in the mass. Okay, so next you can say in plants growth continues throughout their lifespan. Okay, so in plants it continues throughout their lifespan, and in animals growth is only up to certain age. However, the cell division occurs to replace the lost cells. So in animals you cannot say that growth ಯಾವತ್ತಿದ್ರೂ ಬೆಳ್ಕೋತಾ ಇರ್ತೀವಿ ಅನ್ನೋದಿದ್ರೆ, so there is no definite shape of the house, right? So there would be no definite shape of the house. So every day mansha belkotirtanantandre he would reach some I don't know, infinite height, right? So all the organisms, especially the animals, are not having definite certain age. Okay, so but plants, they grow continuously. Their root grows, their branches grows, and the growth is very much continuous in one or the other way. Their reproduction and the other certain things, certain characters you will study why the plants are growing continuously their lifespan. So growth, in the sense, you just do not have to take only the height and girth. So height agudu, weight agudu ashte growth anta annangilla. So there are lot many other processes that we call cell division, and there are lot many things that the plants will undergo. So we call them as their growth continues throughout their lifespan. But animals case ಒಳಗೆ ಏನಕೈತಿ, growth is only up to certain age, and then but cell division in our body, it occurs to replace the lost cells. Cell ಏನಾಗ್ತೈತಿ, each and every cell in our body is having certain lifespan. So one cell satta antandre, if it is dying, then the other cell has to replace this cell. So the cell division, growth is only up to certain age in animals, and however the cell division occurs to replace the lost cells. So but growth is a defining property of the cell organisms. ಈಗ ಗ್ರೋತ್ ಆದ್ರಷ್ಟೇ ಡಿಫೈನಿಂಗ್ ಪ್ರಾಪರ್ಟಿ. ಗ್ರೋತ್ ಆದ್ರೆ ಅದು ಬದುಕ್ಯಾನ ಮನುಷ್ಯ, ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಅವ ಸತ್ತ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಕ್ ಬರ್ತೈತಿ. ಆರ್ ಎನಿ ಅದರ್ ಆರ್ಗ್ಯಾನಿಸಮ್ಸ್. ಸೊ ಅದು ಗ್ರೋ ಆಗತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅದ್ರ ಹೈಟ್, ವೇಟ್ ಅಥವಾ ಸೆಲ್ ಡಿವಿಷನ್ ಆಗತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ಅದು ಆಗತ್ತೇ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ನಾವು ಗ್ರೋತ್ ಆಗತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ, ಅದು ಲೈಫ್ ಅಲ್ಲೇ ಅಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಕ್ ಬರಂಗಿಲ್ಲ, ರೈಟ್? ಸೊ ದ್ಯಾಟ್ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಅ ಡಿಫೈನಿಂಗ್ ಪ್ರಾಪರ್ಟಿ ಆಫ್ ದಿ organisms. Why? Even mountains, okay, basically growth is increase in mass and size, right? So thus non-living objects also grow. For example, surface accumulation of material. So if there is something accumulated on some material, accumulation andre, so one surface mele bere accumulate agatiti. So if that is also occurring, that means it is also we can see that it is also growing in size. Okay, so growth is not the defining property of living organisms. In living organisms, growth is from inside. So growth is cell division and mass ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೇವಲ್ಲ ನಾವು. ಸೊ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಆಲ್ವೇಸ್ ವಿಸಿಬಲ್, ರೈಟ್? ಸೊ that is why it is inside of the living organism, whereas non-living organisms will also show this kind of growth which will appear physically. ನೋಡಿದಾಗ ಮೌಂಟೇನ್ಸ್ ಅಕ್ಯುಮುಲೇಷನ್ ಏನೋ ಡೆಪಾಸಿಟ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಮೌಂಟೇನ್ಸ್ ಏನಾಗ್ಬೋದು, ದೊಡ್ಡದು ಕಾಣ್ಬೋದು, ಸಣ್ಣದು ಕಾಣ್ಬೋದು. ಸೊ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಹಂಗಿದ್ರೆ ಮೌಂಟೇನ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಲೈಫ್ ಐತಿ, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ದ್ಯಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಲಿವಿಂಗ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಕ್ಕೆ ಬರಂಗಿಲ್ಲ. ದ ಸೇಮ್ ವೇ ಮನುಷ್ಯರಿಗೆ ಗ್ರೋತ್ ಸ್ಟಾಪ್ ಆಗೈತಿ, ಹೈಟ್, ಗರ್ತ್ ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಮಾಸಸ್ ಇನ್ಕ್ರೀಸ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ವಿ ಕೆನಾಟ್ ಸೇ ದ್ಯಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ not a living organism. So living organisms growth is a property ಓಕೆ, ಅದು ಒಂದು ಲಿವಿಂಗ್ ಆರ್ಗ್ಯಾನಿಸಮ್ಸ್ ಪ್ರಾಪರ್ಟಿ. ಬಟ್ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಅದೇ ಡಿಫೈನಿಂಗ್ ಪ್ರಾಪರ್ಟಿ. ಗ್ರೋತ್ ಆದ್ರಷ್ಟೇ ಇದು ಲಿವಿಂಗ್ ಆರ್ಗ್ಯಾನಿಸಮ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳುವಂಥ ಪ್ರಾಪರ್ಟಿ ಅಲ್ಲ ಇದೆ. ಸೊ ದ ನಾರ್ಮಲ್ ಕ್ಯಾರೆಕ್ಟರಿಸ್ಟಿಕ್ಸ್ ಆರ್, the basic characteristics are growth. Yes, the living organisms show growth, but growth ಆದ್ರಷ್ಟೇ ಲಿವಿಂಗ್ ಆರ್ಗ್ಯಾನಿಸಮ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಕ್ ಬರಂಗಿಲ್ಲ. ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಇವನ್ ನಾನ್ ಲಿವಿಂಗ್ ಥಿಂಗ್ಸ್, okay, they also show such properties. So it is not the defining property of the living organisms. So next comes the reproduction. So reproduction ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ production of the new organisms by the parent organism, right? So it is the production of progeny having features similar to those of the parents, right? So obviously the features, for example, this is an organism, it is dividing into two. That means the prior organism, it is dividing into two. These organisms should resemble its parent, at least not completely illa antandru, at least they will resemble their parent. So it is the reproduction of progeny meaning next generation, production of progeny having features to similar to those of the parents. Organisms, so how the reproduction takes place? They reproduce asexually as well as sexually. So and as well as there is one more, vegetative propagation. So what are asexual reproduction, vegetative propagation, different things that you will study in the further classes, and you have already studied in your previous classes also. So sexual reproduction involves involvement of both male and female sexes. But asexual reproduction, a single organism will divide in certain ways to produce two new organisms. So there is no male and female as such in a case of asexual reproduction. So organism reproduce asexually and sexually, but in case of unicellular organisms, growth and reproduction are same, okay, and they are also reproduced by cell division. So unicellular organism antandre growth antandre increase in size, increase in mass, and division, cell division occurs. And reproduction nu ade meaning ಆಗ್ತೈತಿ. reproduction ಒಳಗೂ growth ಆಗ್ತೈತಿ, ಆಮೇಲೆ ಅದು ಸೆಲ್ ಏನಾಗ್ತೈತಿ ಡಿವೈಡ್ ಆಗಿ ಟೂ ಆರ್ಗ್ಯಾನಿಸಮ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ಪ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೈತಿ. ಅವ ಎಲ್ಲ ಯೂನಿಸೆಲ್ಯುಲರ್ ಆರ್ಗ್ಯಾನಿಸಮ್. ಸೊ ವಾಟ್ ಆರ್ ಯೂನಿಸೆಲ್ಯುಲರ್? ಯೂನಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಸಿಂಗಲ್. ಸೊ ಸಿಂಗಲ್ ಸೆಲ್ಯುಲರ್ ಆರ್ಗ್ಯಾನಿಸಮ್ಸ್ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾವ? ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್, ಇಫ್ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಅ ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ಟೀರಿಯಾ. ಸೊ ಈ ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ಟೀರಿಯಾ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡತೈತಿ? ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಗ್ರೋಯಿಂಗ್, it is increasing in the mass, and it is dividing. So ನಾವೇನು ಹೇಳಿದ್ವಿ? ಗ್ರೋತ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನ? ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಇನ್ಕ್ರೀಸ್ ಇನ್ ದಿ ಸೈಜ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಮಾಸ್, increasing the number and mass, right? So increase number increase ಆಗತೈತಿ, ಒಂದು ಹೋಗಿ ಎರಡು ಸೆಲ್ ಆಗಿ ಡಿವೈಡ್ ಆಗತ್ತವ, and also it is increasing in the mass, okay? So that means reproduction ಅಂದ್ರೂ ಒಂದೇ, growth ಅಂದ್ರೂ ಒಂದೇ in case of unicellular organisms. It is reproducing, that is one cell is producing two cells, and it is growing also in the same way, okay? So many organisms do not reproduce. For example, mules, worker bees, infertile human couples, etc. Hence reproduction is not a perfect defining property of living organisms. And we know mule and worker honeybee, in case of honeybees ಒಳಗ worker honeybee ಅಂತ ಇರ್ತೈತಿ. So they are not having capacity to reproduce, they are not meant for reproduction. ಅವು reproduction ಮಾಡಂಗಿಲ್ಲ, but still they are living, they live, they eat food, they grow, they respond, they will so you cannot say that they are non-living, right? So even though they are living, they also occur in nature. Some of the couples, they may not reproduce, okay? So some may be abnormal and they cannot reproduce, right? So some may be having some genetic disorders who will not be able to reproduce. So even such people, we cannot say that they are non-living, right? So reproduction ಮಾಡಕಾದ್ರೆ ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಅದು ಕೆಪಾಸಿಟಿ ಇದ್ರಷ್ಟೇ ಅದು ಲಿವಿಂಗ್ ಆರ್ಗ್ಯಾನಿಸಮ್, ಇಲ್ಲಾಂದ್ರೆ ಅದು ನಾನ್ ಲಿವಿಂಗ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಕ್ ಬರಂಗಿಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ reproduction is a property. Living organisms reproduction ತೋರಿಸ್ತಾವ, but it is also not a defining property of living organisms. So next we will see what is metabolism. So it is a third property. So metabolism, it is the sum of total of all the biochemical reaction taking place inside a living system. It is the defining feature of living organisms. So see, if it is a living organism, whether it is bacteria or it is fungi or it is animal or it is plant, any cell, inside the cell cellular metabolic activities will take place, right? So these activities will be biochemical reactions. ಯಾವುದೋ ಸೆಲ್ ಇರಲಿ, ಸಿಂಗಲ್ ಸೆಲ್ ಇರಲಿ, ಮಲ್ಟಿ ಸೆಲ್ ಇರಲಿ, ಸಣ್ಣ ಯೂನಿಸೆಲ್ಯುಲರ್ ಆರ್ಗ್ಯಾನಿಸಮ್ ಇರಲಿ ಅಥವಾ ದೊಡ್ಡದು ಯಾವುದೋ ಆರ್ಗ್ಯಾನಿಸಮ್ ಇರಲಿ, ಎವ್ರಿ ಆರ್ಗ್ಯಾನಿಸಮ್, ಲಿವಿಂಗ್ ಆರ್ಗ್ಯಾನಿಸಮ್ ಇತ್ತಂದರೆ ಅದ್ರ ಒಳಗೆ ಏನಿರಬೇಕು, ಸೆಲ್ ಇತ್ತಂದರೆ ಸೆಲ್ ಒಳಗೆ ಬಯೋಕೆಮಿಕಲ್ ರಿಯಾಕ್ಷನ್ಸ್ ಓಕೆ ಆಗಲೇಬೇಕು. So these biochemical reactions are called as metabolism. So metabolism is nothing but it is the sum of the total of all the biochemical reaction taking place inside a living system. So it is the defining feature of the living organism, right? So unicellular organism ಇರ್ಬೋದು, ಮಲ್ಟಿಸೆಲ್ಯುಲರ್ ಆರ್ಗ್ಯಾನಿಸಮ್ ಇರ್ಬೋದು, ಆ ಒಂದು ಲಿವಿಂಗ್ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್ ಒಳಗೆ ಯಾವುದೇ ಡಿಫ್ರೆನ್ಸ್ ನಮ್ಮ ಒಳಗೆ ಹ್ಯೂಮನ್ಸ್ ಒಳಗೆ ಆಗಿರುವಂಥ ಬಯೋಕೆಮಿಕಲ್ ರಿಯಾಕ್ಷನ್ಸ್ ಬೇರೆ ಇರ್ಬೋದು ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ the biochemical reaction taking place in unicellular organisms, bacteria, fungi, ಅದ್ರೊಳಗೆ ಬೇರೆ ಇರ್ಬೋದು. ಬಟ್ even though they are two different species, two different organisms, the biochemical reactions will be taking place, right? So that is why we call them as the defining property of living organism. So metabolism is nothing but it is the sum of total of all the biochemical reaction taking place inside a living system. It is the defining feature of the living organisms. Next comes, okay, first metabolic reactions can be demonstrated outside the body in the cell-free system. So even these metabolic reactions in chemical laboratories, we can see them, and that means we can experiment them. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ಲ್ಯಾಬ್ರೋಟ್ರಿ ಥ್ರೂ ವಿದೌಟ್ ಇನ್ ಸೆಲ್ ಬಾಡಿ ಒಳಗೆ ಹೆಂಗೆ ಆಗ್ತೈತಲ್ಲ ಆ ಥರ ನಾವು ಡೆಮಾನ್ಸ್ಟ್ರೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆರಿಮೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ನೋಡ್ಬೋದು. ಸೊ ಐಸೋಲೇಟೆಡ್ ಮೆಟಾಬಲಿಕ್ ರಿಯಾಕ್ಷನ್ಸ್ ಇನ್ ವಿಟ್ರೋ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೇವೆ ನಾವು. ಓಕೆ, ಆರ್ ನಾಟ್ ಲಿವಿಂಗ್ ಥಿಂಗ್ಸ್ ಬಟ್ ದೇ ಆರ್ ಲಿವಿಂಗ್ ರಿಯಾಕ್ಷನ್ಸ್. ಅವು ಲಿವಿಂಗ್ ಥಿಂಗ್ಸ್ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೂ ಅವೇನ ಲಿವಿಂಗ್ ರಿಯಾಕ್ಷನ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ನಾವು ಕರಿತೇವೆ. ಸೊ ದ್ಯಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಆರ್ಟಿಫಿಷಿಯಲಿ demonstrating the metabolic reactions, living reactions. Okay, but metabolism it is occurring in all the living organisms on earth. So metabolic reactions ella living organisms olag occur age aagtav. That is why metabolism is the defining property of living organisms. Next we will study what is cellular organization. So all organisms, whether it is unicellular andre single cell irtati, multicellular andre multiple cells irtav, plant cells and animal cells. Any cell organisms are made up of one or more cells. It is the defining feature of the living organisms. Whether it is unicellular andre only single cell irtೈತಿ, multicellular ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ many cells ಇರ್ತಾವ. ಸೊ ಒಟ್ಟು ಸೆಲ್ ಅಂತೂ ಇರಲೇಬೇಕಲ್ಲ, ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಗೋದನ್ನ ಒಂದು ಸಿಂಗಲ್ ಸೆಲ್ಲಿಂದ, ರೈಟ್? ಸೊ ಸಿಂಗಲ್ ಸೆಲ್, ಒಂದು ಸೆಲ್ ಆದರೂ ಇರಲೇಬೇಕು. ಸೊ ಸೆಲ್ಯುಲರ್ ಆರ್ಗನೈಸೇಷನ್ ಶುಡ್ be there in the living organisms. That is why cellular organization is the defining property of the living organisms. So next we'll study about consciousness. So consciousness, it is the ability of the organisms to sense their environment and respond to the environmental stimuli. So for example, like light, water, temperature and other organisms, chemicals, pollutants, etc. So all organisms are aware of their surroundings, so it is the defining property of the living organisms. Human is the only organism having self consciousness. So consciousness ಅಂತಂದ್ರೇನು? ಸೊ ಕಾನ್ಷಿಯಸ್ನೆಸ್ ಅಂದರೆ ನಾವು ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಬೇರೆದವ್ರು ಯಾರ್ಯಾರು ಸುತ್ತಮುತ್ತಲೂ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಅದ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಅವೇರ್ ಇರೋದಷ್ಟೇ ಅಲ್ಲ. ವಾಟ್ ಎವರ್ ಈಸ್ ಹ್ಯಾಪ್ನಿಂಗ್ ಔಟ್ಸೈಡ್ ದಿ ಸೆಲ್, ವಾಟ್ ಎವರ್ ಈಸ್ ಹ್ಯಾಪ್ನಿಂಗ್ ಔಟ್ಸೈಡ್ ದಿ ಬಾಡಿ, sometimes even unknowingly we will not tell our body to sweat when there is ಹೈ ಟೆಂಪ್ರೇಚರ್ ಔಟ್ಸೈಡ್. ಸೊ ಹೊರಗಡೆ ಬಿಸಿಲು ಭಾಳ ಐತಿ, ಸ್ವೆಟ್ ಆಗಂತ ನಮ್ಮ ಬಾಡಿಗೆ ನಾವು ಹೇಳಲ್ಲ, ಬಟ್ ಸ್ಟಿಲ್ ಅವರ್ ಬಾಡಿ ಈಸ್ ರೆಸ್ಪಾಂಡಿಂಗ್. ಸ್ವೆಟ್ ಔಟ್ಸೈಡ್ ಟೆಂಪ್ರೇಚರ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇದ್ದರೆ ಆಟೋಮೆಟಿಕ್ಲಿ ವಿ ಸ್ವೆಟ್, ರೈಟ್? ಸೊ ದ್ಯಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ನಥಿಂಗ್ ಬಟ್ ಅವರ್ ಬಾಡಿ ಈಸ್ ರೆಸ್ಪಾಂಡಿಂಗ್ ಟು ದಿ outer stimulus, right? Knowingly or unknowingly, right? So if there is some mosquito which coming and biting, means we'll beat it, right? So these are the consciousness that the higher organisms, like we human beings, are the most developed organisms. So even we have self consciousness. So we are very much aware of others, and we talk to others, we respond, we have language to interact, because we are well developed organisms. But even other organisms, even from single cellular organisms, even if it is a single cellular unicellular organism, even that will also have the consciousness about the environment, outside environment ಒಳಗೆ ಯಾವ ಥರ ಫುಡ್ ಐತಿ and which food it want to intake, okay? Everything it will have the consciousness. So that means it will also be aware of its surrounding, okay? So that is why and even multicellular organisms, so you might have seen touch me not plant, insectivorous plants, and even human beings. So these are so what they will do, they will respond to the external stimulus, okay? So that is why consciousness is also a living defining property of the living organisms. So you should know what are the properties of living organisms: growth, reproduction, metabolism, cellular organization, and consciousness. Growth is not a defining property of living organism. Reproduction is not a defining property of living organism, but metabolism, cellular organization, and consciousness are the defining property of living organism. So now we will study diversity in the living organism. See, these are the properties of living organisms. So how the living organism will grow, how the living organism will reproduce, how the living organism will show the response to the stimulus, and every of these properties, based on these properties only the organisms are classified, okay? So we will study what is the diversity in the living organisms. So this diversity we will study, okay? The number and types of organism present on the earth refers to biodiversity. So how many number of organisms are present and how many type of organisms are present, okay? Number and type, ಎಷ್ಟು ನಂಬರ್ ಇರ್ಬೋದು ನಮ್ದು ಇಡೀ ಜಗತ್ತೊಳಗೆ, ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಎಷ್ಟು ಟೈಪ್ ಆಫ್ ಆರ್ಗ್ಯಾನಿಸಮ್ಸ್, ಎಷ್ಟು ನಂಬರ್ ಆಫ್ ಆರ್ಗ್ಯಾನಿಸಮ್ಸ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಎಷ್ಟು ಟೈಪ್, ಎಷ್ಟು ಡಿಫ್ರೆನ್ಸ್ ಐತಿ, ಎಷ್ಟೊಂದು ವೈವಿಧ್ಯತೆ ಐತಿ ನಮ್ದು ಜಗತ್ತೊಳಗೆ, ಅದನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ನೋಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವೇನಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ? ಬಯೋಡೈವರ್ಸಿಟಿ. ದ ನಂಬರ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಟೈಪ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿ ಆರ್ಗ್ಯಾನಿಸಮ್ಸ್ present on the earth refers to biodiversity. So number of species is described in is 1.7 to 1.8 million. So 1.7 to 1.8 million species, million different types of species are present on earth, right? So in 1.8 to 1.8 million species there are ಅಷ್ಟು ಟೈಪ್ ಮಿಲಿಯನ್ ಸ್ಪೀಷೀಸ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಅಷ್ಟು ನಂಬರ್ ಸ್ಪೀಷೀಸ್ ಅದಾವೆ, ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ that is the reason we call it as biodiversity. There is lot of varieties in the living world, right? So this biodiversity, first what we should do, we will study about the classification. What is taxonomy? So taxonomy, it is the study of identification, classification and nomenclature of the organisms. So as we studied 1.8 million species, ಅಷ್ಟು ಡಿಫ್ರೆಂಟ್ ಸ್ಪೀಷೀಸ್ ಅದಾವಂದರೆ ಅಷ್ಟು ಡಿಫ್ರೆಂಟ್ ಸ್ಪೀಷೀಸ್ಗೆ, ಸೊ ಸಮ್ ವಿ ಮೇ we might have seen ನಮ್ಮ ಸುತ್ತಮುತ್ತಲು ಇರುವಂಥ ಆರ್ಗ್ಯಾನಿಸಮ್ಸ್, ನಾಯಿ, ಹಂದಿ, ಎಮ್ಮೆ, ಈ ಥರ ಕಾಮನ್ ಇರುವಂಥ ಪ್ಲ್ಯಾಂಟ್ಸ್, ಕಾಮನ್ ಇರುವಂಥ ಆ್ಯನಿಮಲ್ಸನ್ನು ನಾವು ಐಡೆಂಟಿಫೈ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು. ಸೊ ಬಟ್ 1.8 ಮಿಲಿಯನ್ ಸ್ಪೀಷೀಸನ್ನು ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ನೋಡಿರ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೂ ಚಾನ್ಸ್ ಇಲ್ಲ ಎಲ್ಲ ಸ್ಪೀಶೀಸು, ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಎವ್ರಿಬಡಿ ಕೆನಾಟ್ ಐಡೆಂಟಿಫೈ ದೆಮ್, ಬಟ್ ಐಡೆಂಟಿಫಿಕೇಶನ್ ಇಸ್ ವೆರಿ ವೆರಿ ಎಸೆನ್ಷಿಯಲ್, ರೈಟ್? ಸೊ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸಾನಮಿ ಈಸ್ ನಥಿಂಗ್ ಬಟ್ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದಿ ಸ್ಟಡಿ ಆಫ್ ಐಡೆಂಟಿಫಿಕೇಶನ್, ಯಾವ ಥರ ಐಡೆಂಟಿಫೈ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು ನಾವು, ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸಿಫಿಕೇಶನ್, ಅದು ಯಾವ ಗ್ರೂಪ್ ಒಳಗೆ ಬರ್ತೈತಿ, ಯಾವ ಜಾತಿ ಬರ್ತೈತಿ, ಎವ್ರಿಥಿಂಗ್, ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಕ್ಲಾಸಿಫೈ ಇಟ್, ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ nomenclature, that means we have to name it. ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವೇನಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ? ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸಾನಮಿ. ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸಾನಮಿ is nothing but study of identification. ಯಾವ ಥರ ಐಡೆಂಟಿಫೈ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ ನಾವು ಆರ್ಗ್ಯಾನಿಸಮ್ಸ್ನ, ಯಾವ್ಯಾವ ಫೀಚರ್ಸ್ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡು ನಾವು ಅದನ್ನು ಐಡೆಂಟಿಫಿಕೇಶನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ದೆನ್ ಯಾವ ಥರ ಅದನ್ನು ಗ್ರೂಪ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಕ್ಲಾಸಿಫೈ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ದೆನ್ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ನಾಮೆನ್ಕ್ಲೇಚರ್. ಅಂದರೆ ನಮ್ಗೊಂದೀಗ 1.8 ಮಿಲಿಯನ್ ಡಿಫ್ರೆಂಟ್ ಸ್ಪೀಶೀಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಇದಾವಂತ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಹೆಂಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾತ? ಬೈ taxonomy. Taxonomically we are identifying it, we are classifying it, and we are naming it. So different place ಅಲ್ಲಿ different language use ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, and different people will call it with different names. So that is why ಈ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮನ್ನು ನಾವು ಓವರ್ಕಮ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಂತ ಸೈಂಟಿಫಿಕ್ ನೇಮ್ಸನ್ನು ಕೊಟ್ಟು ನಾಮೆನ್ಕ್ಲೇಚರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, ನೇಮಿಂಗ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ವಿ ಕಾಲ್ ಇಟ್ ಆಸ್ ನಾಮೆನ್ಕ್ಲೇಚರ್. ಸೊ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸಾನಮಿ ಇಸ್ ದಿ ಸ್ಟಡಿ ಆಫ್ ಐಡೆಂಟಿಫಿಕೇಶನ್, classification and nomenclature of the organisms. So next, systematics. Latin, it is derived from the Latin word systema, that means systematic arrangement. So classification ಮಾಡಬೇಕಂತಂದ್ರೆ we are not just classifying it just like that. There is a systematic arrangement of the organisms based on their evolutionary relationship between the organisms. So for example, you will study further ಯಾವ ಥರ evolutionary relationship ಇರ್ತಾವೆ. For example, ಬೆಕ್ಕು, ಸಿಂಹ, ಹುಲಿ ಇವೆಲ್ಲ ಒಂದೇ ಒಂದು ಜಾತಿ, ಈ ಟೈಪ್ ಒಂದೇ ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ಬಿಲಾಂಗ್ ಆಗ್ತಾವ ಅಂತೀವಿ. ಬಟ್ ದಿಸ್ ಕ್ಯಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ domestic, but these are carnivorous animals. Okay, so there is lot of different, and there is relationship, ಮೂರ್ ಮಧ್ಯೆನೂ ರಿಲೇಶನ್ಶಿಪ್ನು ಇದೆ. There is one evolutionary relationship is also there between these three organisms, these three species. Also there is lot many difference. So how we will classify them systematically, and how we will name them. Okay, so that is done systematically. So systematics is derived from Latin word, that is systema, which means systematic arrangement, which deals with the evolutionary relationship between the organisms. Systema Naturae, it is the book written by Linnaeus. So he has contributed a lot many things in the biology field for the classification. Okay, so Systema Naturae, it is a book written by Linnaeus. So first we will study, and now we will study how the classification is done. So basic process of taxonomy is done. Okay, what is taxonomy? We studied that identification, classification, nomenclature, everything is called as taxonomy. So it means that taxonomy helps us to identify if there is taxonomical name of some species. ಆ ಸ್ಪೀಶೀಸ್ ಕ್ಯಾರೆಕ್ಟರಿಸ್ಟಿಕ್ಸು ನಮ್ಗೆ ಏನಂತ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗ್ತೈತಿ ಅದ್ರ ಬೇಸಿಸ್ ಮೇಲೆ. ಆ ಸ್ಪೀಶೀಸ್ ಯಾವ ಥರ ರೀಪ್ರೊಡಕ್ಷನ್, ಎವ್ರಿಥಿಂಗ್ ಕಮ್ಸ್ ಇನ್ ಕ್ಯಾರೆಕ್ಟರಿಸ್ಟಿಕ್ಸ್. ಅದನ್ನು ಯಾವ ಥರ ಐಡೆಂಟಿಫೈ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು, ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ದೆನ್ ಯಾವ್ದ್ರೊಳಗೆ ಕ್ಲಾಸಿಫೈ ಮಾಡ್ಯಾರ, ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಅದ್ರ ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಸೈಂಟಿಫಿಕ್ ನೇಮ್. ಥ್ರೂ ಔಟ್ ದಿ ವರ್ಲ್ಡ್ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದಿ ಸೇಮ್ ನೇಮ್. ಎವ್ರಿಥಿಂಗ್ ಈಸ್ systematically done by the process of taxonomy. So taxonomy ಮಾಡಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ, so taxonomy means it is a classification. So ಇಷ್ಟೊಂದು ಸ್ಪೀಶೀಸ್ ಅನ್ನ 1.8 ಮಿಲಿಯನ್ ಸ್ಪೀಶೀಸ್ ಅನ್ನ, ಡಿಫ್ರೆಂಟ್ ಸ್ಪೀಶೀಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ನಾವು ಕ್ಯಾರೆಕ್ಟರೈಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಸೊ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಒನ್ ಇಸ್ ಕ್ಯಾರೆಕ್ಟರೈಸೇಷನ್. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಅದನ್ನು ಐಡೆಂಟಿಫೈ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, ಕ್ಯಾರೆಕ್ಟರ್ಸ್ ಯಾವ ಥರ ಕ್ಯಾರೆಕ್ಟರ್ಸ್ ಅದಾವ ಅದ್ರ ಬೇಸಿಸ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಅದನ್ನು ಕರೆಕ್ಟಾಗಿ ಐಡೆಂಟಿಫೈ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ದೆನ್ ವಿ ವಿಲ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸಿಫೈ ಇಟ್. So we will classify it in some groups or some specific things, and then we will name it. Okay, particular adakagena one specific name irthe. So these are the basic process of taxonomy. So then what is characterization? Characterization is nothing but understanding of characters of organisms, such as external structure hengiti nodaka, internal structure of the cell, development process, ecological information, etc. So characterization ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಯಾವ ತರ ಕ್ಯಾರೆಕ್ಟರ್ ಐತಿ ಅಂತ ಅಷ್ಟೇ ನೋಡಂಗಿಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ವಿ ವಿಲ್ ಸ್ಟಡಿ ದೇರ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟರ್ನಲ್ ಕ್ಯಾರೆಕ್ಟರ್ಸ್, ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟರ್ನಲ್ ಫೀಚರ್ಸ್ ಯಾವ ತರ ನೋಡಾಕೈತಿ, ಆಲ್ ದ ಫೀಚರ್ಸ್ and their internal structure. So what is the internal structure, what is the difference between external and between the other organisms, relationship ಏನೈತಿ, so that also we will study. Structure of the cell and how it is developing, ಯಾವ ತರ ಡೆವಲಪ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಪ್ರೊಸೆಸ್ ಐತಿ, ಯಾವ ತರ ರೀಪ್ರೊಡಕ್ಷನ್ ಯಾವ ಥರ ಐತಿ ಇದ್ರದ್ದು. ಸೊ ಎವ್ರಿಥಿಂಗ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ದೇ ಆರ್ ಎಕೊಲಾಜಿಕಲ್ ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮೇಷನ್, ಇನ್ ವಿಚ್ ಸ್ಪೇಸ್ ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ like in which habitat it will live, it is living, so its habitat, everything we will study first in the characterization. All the information we will study. So understanding the character of organisms such as external characters, internal characters, structure of the cell and how it develops, how it reproduces, and its habitat or ecological information, everything we will study. So that we call it as characterization. Next, identification. And when we study ella characters ella gottadmele, we will be able to now identify that organism. So it is the correct description of organism so that the naming is possible. So correct identify ಮಾಡಿ, ಓಕೆ ಈಗ ಇದೇ ಕ್ಯಾರೆಕ್ಟರ್ ಇದ್ರದ್ದು. ಸೊ ಇದು ಅಕ್ವಾಟಿಕ್, ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಫಿಶ್. ಸೊ ಯಾವ ಥರ ಫಿಶ್ ಇದೆ, ಸೊ ವಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದ ಸೈಜ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಫಿಶ್, ಯಾವ ಥರ ಸ್ಕಿನ್ ಇದೆ ಅದ್ರದ್ದು, ವಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದ ಇಂಟರ್ನಲ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಚರ್ ಯಾವ ಥರ ಐತಿ. ಸೊ ಎವ್ರಿಥಿಂಗ್ ವಿ ವಿಲ್ ಸ್ಟಡಿ, ವೆದರ್ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಅ ರೇ ಫಿಶ್, ವೆದರ್ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಅ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ ಫಿಶ್, ವೆದರ್ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಬೋನಿ ಫಿಶ್, ವೆದರ್ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಪ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸಿಂಗ್ ಸಮ್ light. Okay, so everything we will study and we will categorize its characteristics. Okay, so characteristics ಆದಮೇಲೆ ಅದ್ರ ಕ್ಯಾರೆಕ್ಟರಿಸ್ಟಿಕ್ಸ್ ಯಾವ ಥರ ರೀಪ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೈತಿ, ಎವ್ರಿಥಿಂಗ್. ಸೊ ಆಫ್ಟರ್ ಕ್ಯಾರೆಕ್ಟರೈಸೇಷನ್, ದಟ್ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟ್ ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮೇಷನ್ ರಿಗಾರ್ಡಿಂಗ್ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಲೈಫ್ ಸೈಕಲ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಎವ್ರಿಥಿಂಗ್, ವಿ ವಿಲ್ ದೆನ್ ಐಡೆಂಟಿಫೈ ದ organism. Proper identification of the organism. So how the organism and what it is, so how can we name this organism, so that is possible after the characterization. So correct description of the organism, so correct identification admel, then comes the naming, so that we can name it properly. So next comes the classification. It is the group of organisms into convenient categories that we call it as taxa based on the characters. So for example, so what are the different species that come in animals, so what are the characters for animals, so we will identify and we will name it, identify it, we will characters ಮೇಲೆ ಅದನ್ನು ಐಡೆಂಟಿಫೈ ಮಾಡಿ we will categorize, group them into animals. Okay, these come in the animals because for example animals ಎಲ್ಲ ಏನು, they are heterozygous, they depend on other organisms for food. So one character ಏನು ಗೊತ್ತಾತ, so based on these main or characteristics we can group them into animals. And plants are the almost, they are the organisms which produce their own food, so they are categorized into plants. The prokaryotes, so prokaryotes which are not having proper or true nucleus, that we can characterize into prokaryotes. Okay, protista, and then fungi, same thing. So like that we can characterize the organisms and we can identify them. Identify ಆದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಅದನ್ನು ಕರೆಕ್ಟಾಗಿ ಡಿಫ್ರೆಂಟ್ ಗ್ರೂಪ್ಸ್ ಒಳಗೆ ಕ್ಲಾಸಿಫೈ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು. ಸೊ ದೆನ್ ಕಮ್ಸ್ ದಿ ಕ್ಲಾಸಿಫಿಕೇಶನ್. ಸೊ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದಿ ಗ್ರೂಪಿಂಗ್ ಆಫ್ ಆರ್ಗ್ಯಾನಿಸಮ್ಸ್ ಇಂಟು ಕನ್ವೀನಿಯಂಟ್ ಕ್ಯಾಟಗರೀಸ್, taxa based on the characteristics. And now comes the nomenclature. Lastly we can classify them and we can nomenclature, that means we can name them. So it is the standardization of names of organisms such that the organism known by the same name all over the world. For example, Magnifera indica is the name of the mango. Okay, so next it comes the Apis indica. So these are the organisms which are having their specific scientific names. So when we know its character, when we identify it properly, and when we classify them properly into groups, then we can name it properly. Each species will have ಮ್ಯಾಗ್ನಿಫೆರಾ ಇಂಡಿಕಾ ಅಂದರೆ ಮ್ಯಾಂಗೋ ಸ್ಪೀಶೀಸ ಬರ್ತೈತಿ. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಅದ್ರೊಳಗೂ ಸ್ಪೆಸಿಫಿಕ್ ನೇಮ್ಸ್ ಯಾವ ಥರ ಇರ್ತೈತಿ. ಸೊ ಯು ಮೇ ಆಸ್ಕ್ ಮೀ, ಮೇಡಮ್, ಇವನ್ ಇನ್ ಮ್ಯಾಂಗೋಸ್ ದೇರ್ ಆರ್ ಡಿಫ್ರೆಂಟ್ ವೆರೈಟೀಸ್, ರೈಟ್? ಸೊ ಹೌ ವಿಲ್ ಯು ನೇಮ್ ಇಟ್? ಸೊ ದೇರ್ ಆರ್ ಸಮ್ ಡಿಫ್ರೆಂಟ್ ಸ್ಪೆಸಿಫಿಕ್ ನೇಮ್ಸ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ. ಸೊ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಯು ಶುಡ್ ನೋ ವಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ನೊಮೆನ್ಕ್ಲೇಚರ್. ವೆನ್ ವಿ ಡೂ ಕ್ಯಾರೆಕ್ಟರೈಸೇಷನ್, ಐಡೆಂಟಿಫಿಕೇಶನ್, ಕ್ಲಾಸಿಫಿಕೇಶನ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕರೆಕ್ಟಾಗಿ ಗೊತ್ತಾದ್ಮೇಲೆ ವಿ ವಿಲ್ ಗಿವ್ ಇಟ್ ಅ ಸೈಂಟಿಫಿಕ್ ನೇಮ್ ವಿಚ್ ಈಸ್ accepted throughout the world. Okay, so in one cases mango may call as, Hindi people will call it as aam, Kannada people will call it as mavin hannu. So like that there are different places, different states, different names are there. Okay, so we may not get what is that name. So but the scientific name is nothing but it is accepted throughout the world. Okay, so based on these characteristics, the scientist who discover it, they will give its proper name based on its classification, identification and characteristics. Okay, so we will study how it is done. There are different scientists who propose different naming things, and that we will study. So the system of naming with two component is called as binomial nomenclature, and which is proposed by Linnaeus. So botanical names are based on the rules in the International Code for Botanical Nomenclature, which is ICBN. Very, very important. And zoological names are based on the International Code for Zoological Nomenclature. So the system of naming with two component is called as binomial nomenclature. That means, for example, you can see Magnifera indica. There are two components system of nomenclature. So then we call it as binomial nomenclature, which is proposed by Linnaeus. So all the plants, like they are named based on the International Code for Botanical Nomenclature, which provides the basic rules and regulations for the naming. And then zoological names, the animals, they are based on the International Code for Zoological Nomenclature. Okay, so universal rules for binomial nomenclature. So two component system ಅಂದ್ರೆ binomial nomenclature ಅಂತ ಅಂದ್ವಿ. ಸೊ ಯಾವ ಥರ binomial nomenclature, two components ಅಂತ ಎದಕ್ಕೆ ಕರೀತಾರೆ, that we will study. ಸೊ ಹೆಂಗಂತಂದ್ರೆ scientific names are in the Latin or Latinized and written in italics. When handwritten, they are underlined separately. Okay, scientific names in ಯಾವ್ದಾವ್ದು species scientific names ಒಳಗೆ ಬರ್ದಿದ್ರೆ they will be written in the Latin. Okay, so if they are not completely, if they are Latinized, italics, so they are written in italics like this, so italic style. Okay, so if they are not written in italic style, ಕರೆಕ್ಟಾಗಿ ಬರೀ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಸೈಂಟಿಫಿಕ್ ನೇಮ್ ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಗೊತ್ತೈತಿ ಅಂತೇಳಿ ನಾವು ಸೈಂಟಿಫಿಕ್ ನೇಮ್ ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಹ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ರಿಟನ್ ಬರಿತೀವಿ. ಬಟ್ ವಿ ಆರ್ ನಾಟ್ ವೇಸ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಟೈಮ್ ಟು ರೈಟ್ ಇಟ್ ಇನ್ ಇಟಾಲಿಕ್ಸ್. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ದೆನ್ ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಅಂಡರ್ಲೈನ್ ಇಟ್. ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಅಂಡರ್ಲೈನ್ಡ್. ಓಕೆ, ದಟ್ ಆರ್ ದಿ ರೂಲ್ಸ್. So the first word is genus name. Okay, so the first word will be genus name, and then the second word is species name, that is very specific name. And the genus name which should be start with capital letter, and species name should start with small letter. The genus name should start with capital letter, species name should start with the small letter, and author letter will be in last. So binomial nomenclature ಅಲ್ಲಿ almost genus and species name ಅಷ್ಟೇ ನಾವು ಕಾನ್ಸಂಟ್ರೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿರ್ತೀವಿ. So genus name should be written in capital letter, species name is written in small letter. So the first word is called as genus name. So what is this genus name, madam? What is this species? So that we will study one by one. Okay, so you just now have to know in binomial nomenclature andre two ಕಂಪೋನೆಂಟ್ ನೇಮಿಂಗ್ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್ ಇದೆ. ಇದನ್ನು ಪ್ರಪೋಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದವರು ಲೀನಿಯಸ್. ಸೊ ಹೌ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಡನ್ based on the genus and species name. So genus name should come first and species name should come second, and genus name should be written in capital letter first and species name should be written in small letter. Okay, author's name is abbreviated from. So author name is not written completely, it is in the abbreviated form, appears at the end of the biological name. Complete biological binomial name itla adar aadmele just appear agtiti. So it is in the abbreviated form. It is the author name or the scientist name who discovered it. Okay, so these are the universal rules of binomial nomenclature. So I hope you understood the class. Next we will study about taxonomy and how it is done and everything. What is genus name and what is species name and the other things we will study in the next video. Okay, I hope you understood. So this lesson is all about how the what are the characteristic features of the living organisms. How can you say that the organism is living? So that characteristics we studied. So the what is living, what is life, the properties of living organisms, and what are the defining properties of living organisms we studied. And we studied that the organisms are more in number. They are about 1.8 million in number. So if then we call the different species, we call it as biodiversity. So how we will name all the organisms and how we will classify. So then we studied that taxonomy is identification, classification and nomenclature, and in that what are the basic processes of taxonomy. So it may be any method. So what are the processes that will actually take place for the botanist or zoologist for the naming of the organisms? So that we have studied. First we have to see the characteristics, identify them, and then classify them and then name them. So we studied binomial nomenclature and who discovered this binomial nomenclature. In the next video we will continue with the class. And